Libra, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid to late July 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Libra collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the lovely Libras in mid to late July? We're very close to Leo season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, and we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Libra in mid to late July. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick, my good friends. We're going to have some fun today. Let's get these cards flying. All right, cool. So the very similar thing here in the Aries reading for this week, where this vibe is very much lay low. Which could be a very good thing. There's also something here about aesthetics too. So there's two totally different messages that I always get with this card. And again, it showed up in the Aries reading too. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end. So you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as we can see, we have this lovely lady. She's wearing like a wig and a beak costume of sorts, and she's blending in with these birds. Looks like we have a little goose, and then these might be storks. I'm not sure what species they are, but what I do know is that she's trying to blend in with them. So again, this is a very much lay low, in my own lane, minding my own business. I'm in my own bubble type of vibe. So for a lot of Libras, I know many Libras are very social individuals, but maybe in this time you're a little more to yourself, a little more quiet. If not you, this could be someone else you're connected to that's not trying to cause waves, not trying to start problems. I'm just in my own lane doing my own thing. That's how this energy always presents to me initially. Now, in its rough sense, could this be somebody avoiding things, masking things? Sure, but I'm not going to go that route just yet. You would know if that's the case anyway. Um, the other message does deal with aesthetics and looks. So for some Libras, maybe you're changing something about how you present yourself to the world. Maybe it's something with the hair. Maybe it's something with the wardrobe. Maybe it's like fitness things. Like this energy is concerned about how the world views them. So we're just going to let her chill right there. And we're going to get into tarot. She wants to lay low. She could lay low, right? Let's get you three cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Libras. What do we have in mid to late July? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled The Sudden Shift. And to me, it felt like an energy doing a quick 180. Now, that could have been a whole variety of different things, whether that was internal and things that you're feeling or things that are within you, or even somebody else. To me, it was like something just does a quick 180 on you. So just, I'd watch out for that. Change is a part of life. Change is inevitable, but sometimes it happens quicker. And this seemed to happen very, very fast. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going here. Three cards for my lovely Libra friends. What do we got? Okay. Five of Swords. I had this in the Gemini reading in the same exact spot. That is like aggressive. So it's the total opposite of this lay low energy, because this energy wants all the smoke. All right, let's get a couple more. Intense, super intense. Right here in the center, we have Judgment. Okay, I don't know what this energetic intensity is, Libra. Let's get one more. Let's get one more here. What do we got for our friends? Okay, these two came out together. So on the back end, we got the Seven of Swords. What is all this, my friends? What is happening? And then we have the Ace of Wands. So that's adding a little fuel to the fire, so to speak. Let's go through and do a quick overview. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into the juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that's a good way to frame the reading, and it tells us how much it would flow with the sign I'm reading for. And this one is air predominant, right? We got the Five of Swords, Seven of Swords. Air is your element. It's your comfort zone. Um, your place of power, and then we also have fire, and these do work well together. Judgment, I call it Plutonian. It could be air, it could be a lot of different things, but we are air heavy with a little smidge of fire. Now, I always say when you combine fire and air, it can be explosive. But the thing with air being your power element, it is very smart, very intelligent. It is extremely cerebral type of energy. Normally, I love air because it's logical, it's pragmatic, it's planned out. Very, very sharp energy. So that's great. It's very much in the mind. It could deal with either giving or receiving information. So your curiosity could be piqued about certain things. You might be trying to figure out mysteries or dive down rabbit holes, trying to learn things and take in information with a lot of air. The only downside with air is that it could be overthinky, right? Like you might be in the mind a little too much. And sometimes air can also be very cold, and it could cut things away, and it could be just cold and distant. So that's something to watch out for. Then we have the fire here in our bonus, which is very, very much linked to action, whether it's the actions you take or the actions that other people take. It's very combustible. It could deal with energy levels and health as well. The downside to fire is the explosive volatility. And then we mix the fire and air that only feeds the fire and increases it. And then judgment in and of itself is also very, very explosive in nature too. So like there's super, super intense energy, which doesn't mean bad, but I just want to dig deeper. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Five of Swords. Now, I did mention this showed up in the exact same spot in the Gemini reading. Maybe it's an air sign thing in this time. And we see our spiky haired friend has all the swords right there, right? And if we look a little closer at the card, we see these two people in the background. They just got their butts kicked. And this guy is the winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, when we look at the most positive aspect of this card, it could be an energy that can't stop, won't stop, never quit type of energy. When I say something, I do it. When I say it, I mean it, I follow through. This is an energy that is very determined. It's also an energy that's looking after itself, right? I'm looking after number one. It's like one of those types of energies here where it's self focused, self interested, which isn't a bad thing, right? Like we got to have that sometimes. But when we get into the challenge of the Five of Swords, it could be very pushy, very aggressive. And it could that self focus turn into self centeredness and ego? Absolutely. Could this be anger? Could this be conflict? Yes, to all of that. So, again, I guess it depends on what you got going on. If you're like highly motivated to make something happen, beautiful. This could be someone that is a little pissed about something or just feeling disgruntled. So I'm not sure if you have a disgruntled edge to you in this time, but it's the total opposite of what we had with the Oracle card. Because remember, that one was like, I want to avoid problems. And the Five of Swords is like, no, I want all of them. Like, I want to attack them head on. So we're just going to have to dig into that deeper. Now, moving to the middle, we have judgment. Super intense, not bad. We see the Archangel Gabriel. I always say whenever we have an archangel, that's a positive sign of spiritual protection and insulation. This card does often show up when we receive signs, synchronicities, and omens. That's another one right up there with the 1111 card, the Four of Wands. So I like judgment. So again, you might be receiving lots of different signs and omens, and we'll see if any more pop out within the reading. But judgment is Plutonian energy. It is change based and it is explosive and intense. It's unavoidable, unstoppable type of energy. So we do really need to look into this further. Sometimes judgment can represent things popping back up. So whether it's situations that you've already dealt with, notice we have the dead rising in this picture too. So again, it could be literal judgments and decisions, but it can also represent revisiting things too, which isn't always bad. Now, on the back end, what could potentially turn this into a warning, not only do we have all this super intense energy here on the front, we do have the Seven of Swords. And we see this person also making away with all the swords, right? We have our little friend in the fez. So it's like this one where it's like, all the swords are mine. No, they're mine. Like, oh, you think you have all the swords? I'm just going to go over here and take them and go away. Um, I don't want to get too far into the negative aspects yet. But in the positive sense, the Seven of Swords can just represent unknowns, right? Like something that's not on our radar, something we don't see, a missing piece of information, just something that's still in the shadows. So we do want to see if we could get a little more insight. If this is representing an individual, it could be someone that doesn't have the best intentions, right? Sometimes it could represent secrecy, lies, thievery. That's the worst case scenario. But like when I'm seeing the Five of Swords with the Seven, that combination always like gives me a potential warning here that we want to look at. Um, so we'll see what's up with that. Now, For your bonus, we do have the Ace of Wands. I like all aces. I always say they represent offers, opportunities, big with conversations and messages. And the Ace of Wands is very fiery. So it could be like an explosive talk or message or just something that pops in out of the blue. And again, it doesn't have to be bad. But think of the Ace of Wands as a mini tower. Like it has a very similar archetype to the tower, at least how I perceive it. So, and again, it's just a bonus, but I want to dive deeper on all this, Libra. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for the lovely Libras? Just so intense, my friends. So intense. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Five of Swords. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Libra, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Five of Swords. What's happening here with this? Why is that Five of Swords in the mix? Okay, it's just so pushy. So pushy. And listen, I have a lot of experience with you lovely Libras. A ton of them in my life. This energy does not feel very Libra-like to me. Right? Because the devil in reverse, especially under a card like the Five of Swords, is an energy that's feeling forced. And a lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, Libra, if you feel like someone is pressuring you too much or forcing you too much when it comes to anything, either whether it's something minor or major, is that person going to get good results from pressuring you or hounding you or asking you the same thing over and over and over again or pressuring you to do something that you really don't want to do? Um, that's how this energy feels to me. So I would watch out for any individual that's either pouring it on too thick or is just too pushy. My way or the highway. Very similar thing in the Gemini reading. Now, we do have the devil in reverse. The devil to me is Capricorn energy. And not that Capricorns are devils, it's only due to the goat symbolism. So if you're connected to Capricorn, maybe they're showing up here. Maybe they're a little pissed about something. But when it shows up, it's always firm, it's stable, it's steady, right? Even though it's not the best energy, it's solid and earthy. So when I see it underneath this Five of Swords, in its best case scenario, this could be someone that's like, you know what, I've identified a problem, I've identified a situation, and I will not rest until I solve it. That's the best case scenario, where there is a problem, there is a situation, and I will not rest until I resolve this thing. But again, in the worst case, there is this energy that feels like it's applying too much pressure, or it's being a little too pushy. Again, no judgment here, but that's just how it's presenting to me. So again, watch. I mean, you would know, like if this is a person, you already know who it is, right? But I would just watch out for anyone surfacing that fits that mold, right? And I mean, sometimes we do have to do things we don't really want to do, but it's hard. It's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Can you do this? Can I do that? Can I do that? Can I do that? And it's like, I just answered you 2 seconds ago. It's something weird like that. All right, let's keep going. I don't want to get too caught up in it. It is what it is. There's just something here about not being pressured too much or not applying too much pressure. So let's see what's up with Judgment. I really want to get to the Seven of Swords too, and that'll tell us a lot. So why is Judgment here? It's like we're seeing the exact opposite of what we were seeing with the very first card. So we have the Five of Wands, and in numerology, when you look at the repeating fives, they're very similar to Tower, right? So not only do we have repeating fives, we also have the Ace of Wands, which is like a mini Tower. We have Judgment, that's also very explosive and shocking. So it's like we have this residual Tower energy here. Again, not every tower is a bad tower. Sometimes it could be a good shock, right? But when I see Judgment with the Five of Wands, really watch out for getting pulled into other people's stuff. Watch out for anyone that's like blame shifting too. I don't know why that's coming through. The Five of Wands, again, it's another card you don't have to be an expert in tarot to understand. We have 5 people that are beating the crap out of each other with sticks. Simple, straightforward, right? In the good sense, yes, it could be determined. So I do see this energy where it's like, I will fix it. I will handle it. I will make it happen. So I love the thought behind that, but the energy is just way too pushy. It's way too pushy, and it feels like it's way too forced. Um, the Five of Wands is conflict, very similar to the Five of Swords here. So, like when I see Judgment with the Five of Wands, it's like, hey, I'm going to make my problem, your problem. Or, hey, Libra, I'm dealing with this. What would you do? And then you tell them what you would do. And then they say, hey, Libra was saying this about you. It's something weird like that. So watch out for like group drama, group dynamics, blame shifting, people saying things like it feels a little gossipy too. We're going to keep moving. Not a big fan. So when we had this in the very beginning, the lady that's trying to lay low, the lady that's trying to be in her own lane, right? Mind her own business, do her own thing. And now all this energy seems to be circling around. Of course, that's going to catch my attention. You might be better off in the bubble for a time. There's this energy where it's like, don't respond to this pressure. All right, let's go in on the Seven of Swords. See what that has. I could already tell you we do have a warning here of importance or seriousness. Just with how, with the way this energy has like shown itself to me, it just feels very pushy. It feels very pressury, very pushy. Okay. So we have the Two of Wands in reverse underneath. So again, more fire to add to all this air energy here. And usually the Two of Wands is very strategic, very planned out. This to me doesn't feel like it's somebody being malicious purposefully, but it also feels like an energy where it's like, all right, well, for instance, I'll put it out here like this. Let's say you're having a discussion with somebody and somebody does something that you did not like and you bring it up to them. And instead of saying, hey, Libra, I apologize for that, they say, well, I didn't mean to do that, Libra. And then, well, no, yeah, I didn't mean to do it, so it's fine, right? No, like there's something here with like the blame shifty energy. Watch out for people putting blame onto you that's not yours, and watch out for people saying like, well, I didn't purposely mean to do it, Libra, or I didn't purposely set out to do that. Well, it happened anyway. Can you just like apologize for it? It's so odd. And again, no judgment here, regardless of what end of the spectrum we're on. But the Two of Wands in reverse is unplanned. So when I see the Seven of Swords with the Two of Wands in reverse, it's like, okay, well, maybe this energy didn't purposely do it. Maybe it let something slip, or maybe it accidentally said something, or accidentally did this, which again, we're all humans, right? We all make mistakes. And that's kind of how this feels on the back end. Like someone made a mistake, but it's like, well, but I didn't mean to do it, Libra, so everything's fine, right? Because I didn't purposely do it. I don't know. It's getting hyper specific here, but I think we do have some important or serious warnings this week. If you are in your little bubble, it might be a good time to stay within that bubble for whatever reason, right? Especially with all like the blame shifting and gossipy stuff. I feel like this is way too complicated. Let's go through and do a quick little recap, then we'll get into the shadow. We got a lot of stuff happening here, lots of fire, lots of problematic energy, lots of warnings this week, and doesn't mean you're going to have a nightmare of a week. Don't get stressed about that. But I think a little solitude might be good. But if you kindly look in the box position number one, we have the Five of Swords with the Devil in reverse underneath it. This energy does feel very pushy. If you're cross watching for a Libra, you might want to give that Libra a little bit of space here, right? Because this energy is like not responding well to pressure. Um, Now, if this is someone wanting to solve a problem or wanting to fix something and they won't rest until it's done, beautiful. I love the intentions. But there's just an energy here that feels like it's putting on too much pressure or it's a little too pushy. Moving to the center, we have Judgment with the Five of Wands in the upright. We got more of the same here. Now, I did also see this energy of, you know, potentially being brought into someone else's stuff or having blame shifted onto you. Hey, Libra was saying this. Like it's really gossipy and stuff too. So just watch out for getting pulled into other drama that's not even yours. Even if you're pretty solitary, there's a potential for you to get pulled in. And then moving to the back end, we have the Seven of Swords with the Two of Wands in reverse. I did say like there is an important or serious energetic warning this week. This energy to me is like it does feel like a bit of a mistake or a mishap, but I don't think that justifies it, right? Like it's an energy where it's like I didn't purposely mean to hurt you. Yeah, but you still did, right? I don't know. It's just very specific for some reason. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. Hopefully, we do get a good one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Libra? Thank you. Seven of Swords again. Seven of Swords again. Okay. So this little guy shows up again within the shadows. And I always say when he comes up as a shadow card, it's to be expected. This is a card that operates within the shadows, so it's not like we're raising the alarm right now. But there is this energy telling me it's like, yeah, just proceed with caution, Libra. Like that energy about staying in your bubble might be a good one for the time being, at least in the short term. Because the Seven of Swords, it's just one that I'm not completely sold on. It's an energy I'm just not sold on it. I don't know if I believe it. And I don't know why it's coming through in that type of way, but I will say this, the shadow side of this card, in its positive sense, it could just represent something that is not on your radar yet, something that hasn't popped up yet. Maybe that's some of the stuff we were seeing this week, things that aren't even on your radar. So I would be cautious. But it does give me a proceed with caution, because to me, I'm like, I don't buy it. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. So we're just going to leave it at that, Libra. That's what I got for you this week. Don't click away just yet. I'm going to give you the details. The July subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The July calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the July subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice, I will choose 3 lucky winners to either choose a copy of the Gilded Tarot Royale, which is one of my favorite decks of all time. It's a must-have, or a handmade pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in today's reading, which one spoke to you the most, or jumped out to you the most, or resonated with you. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.